District 9, a 2009 science fiction film directed by Neill Blomkamp and written by Neill Blomkamp. 30 years ago, aliens arrive on Earth, not to conquer or give aid, but to find refuge from their dying planet. Separated from humans in a South African area called District 9, the aliens are managed by multinational United, which is unconcerned with the aliens' welfare, but will do anything to master their advanced technology. When a company field agent contracts a mysterious virus that begins to alter his DNA, there is only one place he can hide: District 9. District 9 was the choice of Lynn Webb as we continue through February, our Cowboy and Aliens month this year. Lynn, how would you like to talk about District 9?
I went into this whole exercise of cowboys and aliens and thinking about, one, cowboys and aliens, but specifically about how there are a lot of science fiction or alien-based stories that try to act as an allegory for real-world events.
Sure.
Or real-world, things that are going on here on Earth, as it were. And, we've always applauded, Star Trek, Twilight Zone for doing these things. But that is also true in the world of science fiction film.
Yeah.
In the speculative fiction space. And District 9 in 2009 was a film that is almost feels like it's ripped from the headlines in that it is a film that is set, as you mentioned, in Johannesburg, about these aliens who appear in Johannesburg and then are made to live in this encampment, more or less, that is called District 9. And by being made to live in it, while they appear in the circa 1982 in over Johannesburg in this huge spaceship that just sets ground or orbit over Johannesburg, they're just there. They're not doing anything. They're just there. But the people of Johannesburg, the people in charge of Johannesburg, and let's put it out there, it is the white South Africans.
Yeah.
They break into the ship and discover these aliens. Now, these aliens are malnourished for whatever reason. And it is then they take them from their ship and put them in this encampment.
Right.
That is ripped right from the headlines of how Black Afrikaners were displaced throughout their time in Johannesburg. And they were made to live in, I believe, they were made to live outside this area that was called District 6 in South Africa. And as that then district kept growing and growing, people kept getting displaced further and further from where they were.
Right.
From where they called home. It's like, nope, you can't live here anymore. And this is a story as old as time, not just in Johannesburg, but just in, civilization, as it were. The first thing that comes to my mind is the story of Seneca Village in New York.
Right.
And that's how they created basically what is now Central Park.
Right.
And going back to the film, when this happens and these aliens become more, they become sick, they become impoverished because they're just living in these encampments, these shacks, and they are separated from their own sense of humanity. So they try to create another sense of humanity on this totally alien world. And then they become, they didn't ask to be placed here, but now they're hated for being placed there.
Yeah.
We didn't ask to be placed here, but now you're hating. They're called prawns because they're saying that they look like shrimp and all this type of stuff. And this is everything that happened in real life in Johannesburg, and it's all right here under this guise of this science fiction tale. And I'm always a sucker for like an allegory like that.
Of course.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate what they're doing here. That attempt to do that as a, want to comment on what happened in real life, but we're going to use these aliens to maybe hit a little more home for you. So there's that attempt, and this movie definitely talks about the racism that these aliens face at the hands of this white nationalists. They realize like, well, we want to take over District 9. They're not even doing anything well with it. So now they're going to evict them from there.
Right.
And they move in this kind of like paramilitary unit, a multinational union or something like that, MNU. And they give this little toady bureaucrat, Whisker, his job is to lead this eviction program. And he becomes your window into this world in this movie. As you mentioned, I think you mentioned it, this movie is kind of like at first shot as almost like documentary footage. Like this is the footage of this program in action, and he becomes your voice into it. And he's like, hey, we've he's trying to put a friendly face on what we're doing.
Sure.
We've got to get these people out of here because, they're living in squalor and they're being very sick. So we want to take them from there, and we're going to, put them somewhere else, never really mentioning where they're going to put them else. They're just saying that they're taking them from their homes. And he's trying to put a face on there, a happy face on it. This Whisker white guy putting a happy face on it, played by Sharito Copley. But he, as much as he's trying to be like this nice guy, he's not a nice guy. Because he, at the end of the day, is just as racist as them.
Right.
He's every bit as racist as them.
He's an agent for this machine.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's going in, and there's a really horrific scene where in their evicting everyone from this encampment, they come across one of the shacks where they learn that their eggs are being fed.
Right. It's basically a nursery.
A nursery.
Yeah.
And not only does he go in there and, disconnects the eggs from their food, just happily like, yeah, you see this is how they get their food. So you just pluck it out. He's happily doing that. Then they set it afire. Yeah. And he talks about, oh, you hear that popping? That's the babies popping. That's what happens. They make that popping sound, because we can't let them have babies. Right. I'm like, what? Are you serious? So it's which gets into ethnic cleansing.
Oh, absolutely.
The ethnic cleansing right there on the screen. So all of that is it's laid at your feet in this movie. And you're wondering, like, as the movie goes along and the Whisker guy, as it happens, he is happily doing his duty until he comes face to face with an accident that now is transforming his body into one of the aliens. Right. And it is at this point that he's like, oh my God, what are we doing to the aliens? Of course. Because I need help to get me back. They, the MNU, the people that he works for, realize, oh, you could be an aid to us now that you're turned into an alien, because we found their weapons, and their weapons will only work with them biologically. We can't get them to work. Right. But you're kind of like you're part us, part them. Right. Maybe you can operate the gun. Oh my God, you can operate the guns. Oh, we could use you. Yeah. We could use. Let's dissect him. Figure out how we can maybe make him, since we not having any luck with any of the aliens, because you see that they're dissecting the aliens, and we could, and he is going out of his brains, and you, the audience, are supposed to feel for him at this moment. Now you're supposed to change. You're supposed to flip and be on his side. But we can't have the white guys just be the only villains in this movie, because if we've got white guys and we've got the aliens who are more or less are blacks, well, we need we need some people of color in here. Yeah. And what are they going to be? Yeah. Well, they've got to be other bad guys.
Yeah.
They've got to be badder guys.
Badder guys.
And they've got to be almost dehumanized guys. So send in the Nigerians.
Yeah, I feel like Nigeria should have sued this movie.
Well, Nigeria had a problem with this movie.
Well, I guess they did.
because I felt like when the Nigerians come in, who are just basically, they might as well stepped out of the movie Warriors. They just come in like, it's time to play.
Oh my goodness.
And so they're all hyped up and wild, and they are talking about eating the aliens.
Right, to get their power.
So that we can get the aliens' power.
Right.
So all of a sudden, they are basically dehumanized.
Yeah.
To be just, they might as well have bones in their nose.
So because you used jungle drums. There's some jungle drums at some point.
I'm like, what the hell is this movie doing?
Yeah.
And so the more and more I'm watching this movie, I'm like, there are no good guys in this movie except the aliens.
Yeah.
And even then, it shows you two aliens. It's Christopher Johnson, and I don't even know if they explain how they got human names.
Well, they skipped over that part of...
Okay, all right. I was like, did I miss something?
No, you did.
Because I wasn't rewinding. So the one alien, Christopher Johnson, and his son, CJ.
Sure.
Who kind of like not only save Whisker from white people, save Whisker from the Nigerians, have Whisker turn traitor on them.
Yeah.
And yet they still save him again at the end.
Yeah. They
are the only heroes in this film. So it's a crazy film with all of this messages and social political topics that it wants to touch on, but they kind of get lost in this as far from, definitely from a black standpoint, because of this wild depiction of the Nigerians, which you mentioned, the Nigerian government had a huge problem with.
Yeah.
They were actually through a protest and tried to get this movie banned in Africa and in as many surrounding countries and continents as possible. With that mixed messaging in this film, this became, for me, a bit of a hard film to take serious.
Sure.
Well, not take serious, but to just enjoy.
Right.
Because of that. Because on every other level besides that, it's a fantastic movie. This movie, that the whole full documentary aspect of the film, it kind of falls apart story-wise as it goes on, because you can't stay with this kind of like found footage type of vibe but for so long, because then you've got to get into this different people's POV at one moment or another. But besides that, the cinematography that is on display in this film, especially considering this Neill Blomkamp's feature film debut, is beautiful. It is breathtaking. The combining of the visual effects of the aliens with the real world footage that is shot in actual encampment in Africa is absolutely spot on perfect. Yeah. Like and these aliens who do have a face, like there's not a humanoid face, yet they still are able to emote emotion visually. The world building in their spacecraft, which feels incredibly old and ancient and bare bones, yet still feels very real. There's a tactile sense to all of the special effects that are in this film that feels great. The action in the movie is actually easy to keep track of, and engaging and lively, and get you riveted into the moments. So on a production level, the film is amazing. And that is one of the reasons why it became such a critical darling when it came out in 2009.
Yeah.
But the messaging of it, which I know what he was going for, is just it's just really those Nigerians just really like messed it up for. Like, I didn't even mind that Whisker is an asshole throughout the entire movie. I didn't mind it at all, because I don't need my hero. I don't need the quote unquote hero of the movie to be this a paragon of virtue.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't necessarily need that, even though I think the movie tries to sell him that and tries to kind of like retcon that at the end of the film. But I didn't mind him being this jerk. I would have liked for maybe the aliens, because of the heroic nature of their portrayal, maybe there to be a little bit more to the backstory given to the alien, as opposed to just being the alien who helps him.
Yeah.
You know? So I think I would have liked that a little bit more backstory with the aliens to you know, you don't know why they came.
Right.
You don't really learn anything about that. I don't know if you necessarily needed to know, but I think at least some type of hinting at it, you know, might have helped with some of the motivation. So I liked it, and I wanted to call it a black film because of the themes, because the themes are there. But man, those Nigerians just really took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think technically this is quite the achievement, especially for a film that didn't have a huge budget.
No.
Like, it was only $30 million.
I'm about to say, I don't think it was $50 million, right?
Which is, and I think you're absolutely right. What Neill Blomkamp achieved with the technical effects, I mean, with the sort of almost practical effects.
Yeah, a lot of practical effects.
Is amazingly impressive, because, as you said, there's a real tactile nature to the aliens in this world. Like, it really feels like they are physically there,
right,
with the human actors, and that is amazingly impressive just on that level. But I have to say, since this movie came out, I have always been a little underwhelmed by District 9.
Okay.
Like I never understood, outside of the technical aspects of it, why this film was as celebrated as it was. I think it's important to note that this is an expansion of Blomkamp's short film Alive in Joburg, which I like a lot. And frankly, I think this concept of the refugee class of aliens that has been here long enough that people are just sick of it, and the images of these aliens in this refugee camp that has become a slum work really, really well in the short film format. Expanded into a larger film, I just don't think it was developed well enough. I just don't think it was thought about as thoroughly or as fully as it should have been. You know, there's never really any consistency in what the aliens are. At some points, they're almost mindless beasts. At other points, they're intelligent. There's no understanding of how we communicate with them. Like, there are points in the film where you get the sense that the human agents know their language, but you also get the sense that no one has really talked to them. Like, there's no central organization in there. Like, they really do just sort of, the depiction of the alien shift depending on what is necessary
for the plot,
and from scene to scene.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And that really undermines the gravity of it. And then, for a film that is billed as allegory, that is billed as commentary on you know, disenfranchised people who have been displaced, it becomes an entirely different film almost.
Yeah.
When this main character is exposed to this plot device that's now going to change him into an alien. And it becomes very run-of-the-mill science fiction, where, you know, he's changing, people are chasing him, this, that, and the other. So that even the interesting ideas that are present, this sort of black market that has sprung up around them, you know, regardless of how, frankly, racist the depiction of the Nigerians are in this film, this idea that a black market has sprung up around cat food and ordinary items that they find attractive is an interesting idea.
Yeah.
This notion that there is an arms race, literally an arms race, to reverse engineer this technology and then monetize it. That's a really interesting idea. The idea that there are human rights organizations that are concerned about how this is going on. That is a really interesting idea. None of these ideas are developed that well in the first part of the film. And then when the film becomes this sort of run-of-the-mill science fiction.
Yeah, just running with him as he's changing.
You know, running with him as he's changing, this sort of chase and thriller.
Right.
They're not developed at all. And you know, it's funny when you look at the development of the film. You know, it was again expanded from this short film. Peter Jackson comes in and produces it. You have to assume of that $30 million, there was an influx.
Yeah.
Of money at some point. And you can tell when the influx comes because suddenly it's laser beams and robot suits and this, that, and the other.
The weather check cleared.
And it's so abrupt, frankly, when you had this very practical, very, very sort of really smart depiction of effect and image.
Yeah, making the most out of little.
Making the most so that by the end, where it's like a shoot 'em up with lasers, it really takes away even from what is good about the first part. But, you know, I have to say, as someone who loves science fiction, as someone who loves all this, and I think this is fair because Neill Blomkamp is going to make a film in this arena.
Yeah.
If you're going to come into King, you can't miss. Like, you can't say, I'm going to make a film about refugees. I'm going to make a film about people who have been displaced. I'm going to talk about aliens as this minority class, aliens as a stand-in for a minority class, and say, this is what I'm going to do. When the film Alien Nation exists, which then has turned into a television show, which everything you sort of point to, the film and the series did so much better. These are really, really interesting ideas. As you said, even the idea of where did you come from? Why are you here? Is not explored at all. There's a wonderful moment at the end where as you say, the main alien protagonist, Christopher Johnson,
right, escapes.
And part of the reason Christopher Johnson and the human are working together, Whisker, is that Whisker is transforming. Christopher Johnson says, I can fix you. Christopher Johnson, who finds the lab where they're experimenting on his compatriots, tells Whisker, I will fix you, but it's going to be about 3 years.
Right, because I got to save my people first.
Because I have to go save my people. And the implication is he's going to go get help and come back, which is this wonderful unspoken threat, because I'm coming back. I'm going to go get my people and I'm going to come back. And by definition, we have spaceships and laser guns. And I'm going to go tell my people what's going on down here. And it just sort of sits there. There's a moment at the end where, as we talked about, the film, part of the film is in the form of a documentary. And there is one of the talking heads who says, when the ship leaves, people have theories about if they're going to come back and what that's going to mean. And it has a wonderful Twilight Zone quality to it.
Yeah.
Where, again, it's this hanging threat of, are we going to get what we deserve for what we did to them.
Yeah, but it had me questioning. Go ahead.
But it's not allowed to breathe as a concept and an idea.
And like you said, it's right there at the end.
It's right there at the end, so that I not only do I not. I agree with you. I don't think it lands on being a black film. I think the metaphor of the alien as the minority class just really is not drawn well enough to work.
Yeah.
Again,
I think they just want to use the imagery.
Alienation worked because Alienation dealt with assimilation, Alienation dealt with integration, Alienation dealt with trying to preserve your culture. Like Alienation really nailed that sort of we are immigrants / we are the descendants of enslaved people in a way that you can point to it and say, oh, well, this is commenting on a real world in a real way. That District 9 did not speak to me in 2009. And when you and I were discussing this, I said, oh, wow, I know I saw it. Like, I know for a fact I saw this in the movies because, as we said, it got a lot of good press. Like it really was sort of
it was like the buzzy movie.
It was the buzzy movie, and I remember seeing it in the movie. But then I also remember talking to you. I've never revisited it.
Yeah.
So that I didn't remember a lot of, but certainly an hour into it, I put in my notes, oh, now I remember why I never revisited it.
Yeah. It's curious you talked about them leaving. When he was talking about, I'm going to go back and I'll be back in 3 years because I got to go save my people. Yeah. You read that as like the unspoken threat of that.
Yeah.
I read it as, first I read it as I need to go save my people, meaning I need to get to my ship so I can get the rest of my people here on Earth up to the ship.
Right.
And then leave.
Right.
That's what I thought that.
Right.
But then when I did catch on that he was going to be taken off and leaving, my question then went to, okay, you're leaving and you're going home, but your ship just showed up here in 1982 and y'all was sitting there getting sick. So where did y'all come from?
Again.
But these are the questions.
Right. And it's not thought out. It's not, again, I hate to keep going back to Alienation, but Alienation addresses this. Like where you understand there is a caste system.
Right.
And that there is an overseer class. And they are still present. They are still, like, this is all still part of the mix.
But that is the evidence of, like you said, this movie wanting to put the aliens in this trappings of, refugees. Yeah. To that have to deal with real world problems, but it doesn't really want to build out the world of those aliens. It doesn't really care.
Right. And to be clear, there are plenty of examples of this type of work where these explanations aren't on the screen. But you get the sense that people have what they call like a story Bible.
You can feel it.
You
can
feel
the world is there.
Like they have the answers.
Right.
The answers aren't necessary for what we're showing you, but I know the answers. And there's so much of this that you get the sense no one thought about it past what had to be on the screen.
Exactly. Like, because the other thing, to your point, is like how the aliens act differently based on what the plot needs them to be.
Right. From scene to scene.
Because Charlie Johnson, or Chris Johnson, and his son, they seem like they are working on the trip home. Like his job is to get their ship, the small craft, running so that they can get back up to the mothership. Right. And he had a buddy that was working with him. I think his name was Paul, but he got killed.
I was about to say, no, it doesn't matter.
Well, I read that. I don't know. But it was like, but outside the three of them, you don't get a sense that any of the other aliens, they're not planning anything. They're just like,
they don't have personalities.
No personalities.
You don't get the sense there's any intelligence.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Which cannot be the case.
Right.
And would not be the case if in writing this film, you really cared about developing that world.
Right.
Past the point of being whatever plot device you need.
Right.
And that, unfortunately, as we talk about how writers have dealt with people of color in films
right.
throughout time.
Right. The irony is that's the black part of the film.
That's the black part of the film.
Yeah, right.
We've seen this
It's
before.
this faceless, brainless, mindless mass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we need some color in there. Let's get some Nigerians.
Right.
Let's bring in some Nigerians in there. Now, to be fair, some of the actors, they actually interviewed some of the actors that did the film, and they said that they didn't have a problem with their depiction because they just saw it as, hey, I'm just acting in a movie.
Hey, it's hard out here for an actor.
And that's exactly what I said. This is exactly what I said. You know what? You're not going to say that.
Right.
It's a job.
Right.
And God bless you on that job.
God bless you.
You know?
Hope the check cleared.
The check cleared. You're rocking out. You fed your kids that day. Beautiful. But what was left on screen?
Right. We are going to eat the body of the alien and get his powers. I was like, whoa. I really wasn't ready for the African witch doctor. Like you said, I was waiting for somebody to come out with an actual bone in their nose or something.
Well, remember, they slipped this line in there too, because there was this line that was slipped in there, I think in one of the news reports about how the aliens are being treated and seen in this country. And then there was the scene. Yeah, there's also been talk of, I forget what the terminology was, but it basically was having sex with the aliens.
Right.
And when they say that on screen, it cuts to a black woman.
Yeah.
Like seemingly walking out of like a shack.
Right.
I'm like, whoa, why you got it?
Look.
I mean, come on. It's right there on the screen, man.
There are some Africana sensibilities in this film that, So.
Yeah, man. So, no.
But again, what makes it more egregious is that it's not as much there.
Exactly.
To justify this type of thing.
But you know what? It's funny. As we're talking this out in real time.
Mm-hmm.
This, though, probably explains why it became the hit that it is. Because
you know
there's
what?
enough of it there.
Right.
For, the white audience to be like, yeah, I see what he's doing.
Well,
yeah.
and again, not to be that guy.
Go ahead, be that guy.
You do get the sense, and I got the sense reading the reviews, that this blew people away who frankly just don't watch that much science fiction.
Okay, well, yeah.
Like it had turned into this indie darling, but you got the sense it had kind of left our little bubble.
Yeah, the science fiction bubble.
Science fiction bubble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I've seen Star Wars, I've seen The Matrix, I've seen District 9.
Yeah. I think it's because it is, a lot of it is a good blend of science fiction and what was hot at the time.
Right.
The found footage,
faux
documentary.
Right, but again, that's
genre.
not really science fiction world.
Right, exactly.
Like,
but that's why that marriage of it is another reason why people splooge all over this. Oh my God.
Right. Like I'm over here talking about Alienation, which is like cult classic is giving it a lot of credit.
That's doing a lot of, that's doing William Shatner work.
Right. It's like how many seasons? Like did Alienation I think was like 2 seasons maybe?
I think this show lasted 2 seasons.
2 or 3, so And
the movie was just like, it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know how much James Caan talks about being an alienation.
No.
So we finished talking about The Godfather, Mr. Caan. I'd like to move to another one of your works.
I was an elf.
I mean,
he cashed some elf checks.
Right.
He cashed some healthy elf checks.
Right.
Him and Bob Newhart are thankful for elf. So, is
ahead.
it a black film?
I don't think it's a black film. Yeah, I don't think it's a black film at all. I don't think it's a black film. And again, this concept of the alien as the other, which we've talked about on here, whether we've talked about Enemy Mine, Or, something that I think is a little subversive when we talk about the Will Smith role, where he gets to be the human. So even something like I, Robot, where the robot is the other, but it's always, you always get this dynamic where the human, the normal
is white.
Right. And then the other is the stand-in for a minority.
Yeah.
Even with this, so many other works have done it better. Mm-hmm. And even within the context, or even outside of that context, this other just is not developed that well.
Not at all.
So no, I wouldn't say it's a black film.
Yeah, me neither. I can't say that it's a black film.
Right.
I can't say it's a black film. I will say, though, because it succeeds so well on a technical level, and I can't knock it for that.
No, not at
all. On
all.
a technical level, it succeeds fantastically well. Because of that, I do think I lean on recommending District 9.
Okay.
I do think that it is for, if you want to just take your hat off, your head, your brain out, put it on the side, and just enjoy a crazy science fiction film, with some crazy problematic and villains in it, and God knows that is throughout time in movies. You're asked to do that. I think if you do that, this movie has definitely succeeds technically as far as the special effects. I like a lot of the action enough that I think that you could sit there and enjoy the film. And the technical aspects of it are so striking. Like you said, it was $30 million.
Yeah.
And this movie, I think, made at least $200 million.
Oh yeah.
I think it is worth a watch if you haven't seen it, especially if you're like a starting filmmaker, just to get ideas of what you can do. So I would recommend District 9.
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree. I think the technical achievement is not worth the almost 2-hour commitment to this film. I think.
Is this wow? It didn't feel that long.
Yeah, I think this is a film that is neither fish nor flesh. I think for a film that fashions itself as being in the world of, for lack of a more elegant term, thoughtful science fiction, it does not stand up at all to any of the films that have come out in the 21st century. Like, I'm not even going to go before 2000. I think since 2000, when we talk about smart, thoughtful science fiction, District 9 it is not even in my top probably 10, certainly not my top 5. And just as a popcorn flick, just a popcorn sit back and turn your mind off, I think there are much more exciting films.
Okay.
So I think you can skip it.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
All right. Well,
split decision. It's one of the I always love the films that you recommend and I don't.
Yeah, you know what? I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
Right. That's so that's it's very interesting.
What else is that? I can't remember the last time.
I can't remember them all. I used to have a running list. Because it's
short.
It's an interesting list. Because usually if you like it, I'm right there with you.
I can't think of another one. I know I like Pluto Nash more than you, but I didn't recommend it.
Right.
So
right.
I don't know.
Right. So
I don't know.
So there you go.
There you go. Well, I'm recommending District 9.
But not for nothing. You got 2 Alien movies this month. We got one coming up.
Oh, the Alien movie?
Oh,
well, I did. That's my Valentine's gift for you.
Oh, that's kind of what I mean. Like, you coming to King, like you want me to thought, come on, like, oh.
That was my gift for you. When I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, Vince is gonna love this.
I can't wait to see how you sell it as a black movie. But I also don't really care.
I know you don't.
I actually don't. I actually don't. Like, you had to add with Yaphet Kotto in it. I was like, that's what we doing? You just gonna try? I was like, well, sure. All right, fine. Sure.
Is it a black film, Vince? If you say so.
Hey, do we get to watch Alien and talk about Alien for over an hour? Because to be clear, I'm going to talk about the set design for about 15 minutes.
Yes. I was going to give you half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, the set design is incredible.
We're going to talk about the dinner scene
Oh,
for 10
God.
minutes.
Oh, God. Look,
So-
you've mapped this out.
Oh.
It's a special 3-hour Micheaux Mission.
Oh. Oh.
And that's not even next week. But before we tell you.
The class commentary
Here we go.
in Alien is damn near 15 minutes. Like the sort of critique on late stage capitalism that's kind of baked in with Alien. But yeah, you're right. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Oh.
It's my film, but we may start with you
Oh.
on that one.
Oh yeah, we about to talk about Alien.
All right.
All right.
That's in 2 weeks.
That's in 2 weeks.